So sadly, right now my old mic is broken. That's a shame, but that's all right. We are here to do the anime thing again for the God, I don't even remember anymore. I think this is the uh fourth time, I think. I think this is the fourth time. I'm not going to include the overrated underrated thing. One, two, three, four, five, six. So this is the sixth time we're doing it. It hasn't even been a full year since we started doing this. We started doing this in March, I think, and at that point it had been a full year since I started. March 2024. I started August 2023, so that was roughly 8 months. So that first stream is not even a year old yet. It's crazy that we've already done 6 of these. The list has grown a lot. It has grown a crap load in the last while. I only have one monitor today, so I need to like go back and forth between the stream. Hello friends. Who's Botrix? Botrix is the bot that helps me. So if I sound a bit weird, let me know how the audio is because the old mic is dead. It finally died. I ordered a new one. It should be coming pretty soon, but yeah, for now it's dead. Oh, it's kind of like hidden on the side. Let's fix that. There we go. There we go. Let's do that. Okay. So yeah, I will have to jump back and forth between the chat. I sound like JPEG. That's good. That's good. If you are new here, because I know that these streams weirdly get like views, if you want to talk about anime with a bunch of weebs, join the Discord server. It's in the description. You can donate to Patreon if you want, but you don't have to. You can just join the Discord and we can yap about cool anime. We're a lot of like newcomers. I would say that there's only like 2 or 3 of us that are really experienced. Most of us are, only casual watchers. I don't know what I'm considered anymore. I've watched a lot, but also there's a lot of stuff I really don't know about, and I don't have a history with a lot of things. I don't know. I'm in like a weird middle ground right now. Yeah, the Kai mic is dead. Very sad. Very, very sad. So yeah, shameless plug. Shameless plug. That's why I'm doing the stream. If you're watching this, we want more people to yap with, because like we don't have that many people to chat with, so we're trying to get nice, cool weebs. If you follow this channel, then you're automatically a competent person. So that's good. Today we watch. Not today. This last month we have watched 14 shows. Again, I've been doing a little challenge where I'm watching 1 or 2 or 3 anime per year that came out. And, a lot of them are recommendations from my friends. Some of them are, like, picks that I just find and I'm like, oh, this looks pretty decent. And we're going to talk about them. Last time we talked about, I believe the last one we talked about was a little show called Elfen Lied. I finished it. I think last time I didn't finish it. Now that I have finished it, I'd lower it because, yeah, like I said, it is blood, it is gore, there's a lot of unnecessary nudity, unnecessary violence, just unnecessary weird stuff going on. It has a plot twist that is, like, to be fair, it's not really, like, supposed to be a big deal, but it's even worse than the one in Erased, and I think that one's pretty bad. But I guess Elfen Lied, at least it's not a murder mystery. But yeah, no, that's just a continuation of last month. This month, we are going to be ranking 14 shows. We are going to be ranking Air, Code Geass, Mononoke, Lucky Star, Spice and Wolf, Casher and Sins, 11 Eyes, K-On!, Durara, Blue Exorcist, Magi, Love Live School Idol Project, Golden Time, and of course, Fruits Basket Season 2, which is the only, like, one that I continued from a previous segment, I guess. Heck yeah, hello Maya, welcome, welcome, welcome. So where do we even begin? So Air, we'll start with Air. That's the first one I watched. I watched that, I believe, January 5-ish. This show represented 2005. I was originally going to skip 2005 because nothing good came out that year. Everything that came out in 2005 was awful. No one good was born in that year. Anyone born in 2005 is a little shrimp. But Benji, he recommended Air. I don't know why he recommended Air. He likes a lot of cutesy stuff, which is cool, but this one was really it's made by the people that made Clannad and Canon. And it's a visual novel adaptation. I can safely say that this is one of the worst visual novel adaptations. Again, I didn't play the visual novel and I have no intention to, but for being only 12 episodes, I believe it had to depict 3 or 4 different character routes, and because of that, a lot of characters get really important in episode 4, and then they vanish forever. Some characters get really important in episode 7, and then that's it, that's the end of their arc. They don't appear at the end of the show. It feels really unsatisfying, you have all these different like girl options, or friend options, or girlfriend options, or whatever, what have you. And I would say that they're okay developed, but because they're different routes, they don't like appear in the end. So it just feels like we're getting small glimpses into different routes, which really appeals to nobody. I don't know. I mean, I saw Air. I wouldn't recommend it at all. I give it like a 3 out of 10. Honestly, I might even lower it. I might give it a 2 out of 10. It's something that just did not stick with me at all. Clanad also does that, where it does multiple routes, but at least it had 50 episodes to play around with. And it gave all the different routes a good amount of time to breathe and what have you. This one really did not. Yeah, I'm on my Google Drive, Google Doc. I gave Air a 3. I'll give it a 2. Um, it's not as bad. It's not the worst show I've ever seen, but it might as well be the second worst show. Like nothing, and granted, I do some illegal activities by watching anime slightly faster than I should. Sometimes 1.5 speed, sometimes 2 times speed. This one was just boring. It was a mess. It was cliche. There was a cool. I'm gonna spoil a small part because I don't want any of you guys to watch this. There's a small part of the show where they go back in time, and it's like, old. I don't even know what to describe it, like feudal Japan for no reason, and it's never like explained. It just kind of happens to explain like a very tiny plot point, I guess, a tiny Chekhov's gun, and it's not even like it was cool to see a different change of scenery. And I know that the creators of Clannad tend to do that, where they like to incorporate like mysteries and stories and parallel dimensions and all that stuff. But like this one just felt so random and out of nowhere. Like I don't know, this one was a slog to get. It was only 12 episodes, but like if you can make 12 episodes a slog, that's impressive. So yeah, off to a really bad start. Hello, Galaxy Mations. It's me, Kai. My name's not Kai, but the character I voiced in Adventure Camp Season 2 was named Kai, so yeah. I hate it when it shows introduce characters, but it doesn't focus on everyone. They'd cut a lot of Air VN moments at the end. Oh, you've seen Air, nice. That's good. Same with Little Busters. I'm biased to Little Busters. Never even heard of Little Busters. I don't even know what that is. By illegal activities, I mean I watch things like at 2 times speed, 1.5 times speed. And this show, I really needed it because it was really just boring. Nothing stuck. There was just too many characters, and obviously you can't focus on all of them because there's only 12 episodes, and you have to do all the different routes. And so like obviously in one route, let's say one route Kyoko is super important, but then in another route like Asahina is super important, but then Kyoko is not important, and then in another route Toko is the most important girl. So it's like, oh my god, there's so much. I don't know why I use Danganronpa. Anyway, that's enough talking about Air. Air's it's all right. It's like 2 out of 10. It's whatever. It's inoffensive. If you're that bored and you want to see a bad adaptation, there you go. It's not like even ironic fun. It's like ironic bad. It's just like it's not crap. It's just boring. It's just boring. Next up we have Code Geass, and Code Geass. This is like the biggest one I think I've seen. This was 50 episodes. It was 2 seasons. I had to watch it in 2 chunks. Season 1 took a little break, and then season 2. This was, I think, the only one I would say that is like pretty popular. I'd say all of these are kind of like under the radar. Like maybe Blue Exorcist is kind of popular, but obviously for one of the chosen one shonen-esque shows, Demon Slayer, MHA, whatever, Blue Exorcist, I feel like it kind of goes under the cracks, especially because I believe it's older. It's like 2011 compared to the other ones are like 2013, 2014, 2015. This one's Love Live, which like I don't know, maybe it's popular. I know it's like a video game thing where it's like arcade games and stuff like that. I hadn't really heard of it, but then again, I'm like not in the target demographic for those kinds of games anyway. I'm not really a rhythm game person. But yeah, Code Geass was probably like the big one that I saw. This is the showstopper, I would say, and it's a shame that I saw it second out of like this whole month, because I mean, like, I wish I saved it more towards the end. Maybe that's how I should formulate stuff, is that like by the end of the month I'm starting to see the bigger shows. Anyway, I really liked the first season. I think what no one told me about Code Geass, no one told me about this, is that it's basically Death Note but with robots. I think my biggest fear going into this was that it would just be like boom 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 robots fighting, and like that's really boring. That doesn't interest me. I never really liked Gundam shows. I never really watched any Gundam shows. So Code Geass, I was really nervous. Like, is it just Transformers robots punching each other? And hopefully, by the way I'm talking, you can tell that it's not that. It's more than that. It is basically Death Note with robots. there's this one protagonist, and he's a jerk, basically. He's a big jerk, and he has a lot of secrets. He's against the revolution and whatever, and he's ready to take over and be the king, and he has lots of minions, but no one knows it's him, so he has a secret double life, and he goes through school, and they do school shenanigans, and he's trying to hide his identity, and there's all sorts of very fun characters along the way. There's like, it's again, similar to Death Note, he has an adversary, and both of them are really wise, and they do stuff, and obviously there's lots of Pizza Hut product placement as well. Though the version I saw on Crunchyroll did not have any Pizza Hut product placement. It also has one of the best girls ever in any anime. Her name is Callan Stratford. She's great. She's awesome. Anyway, the first season was very intense. I think it was nonstop, so much fun. It was just like, there was no bad episodes. It was just constant tension, constant stakes, just lots of stuff going on, lots of characters, lots of subplots. I felt like even the side characters had a lot of like cool subplots and moments going on. And I was really hooked. I think season 1 ended at such a high point. I was impressed at how good and tightly written the show was. And then I saw season 2. And season 2, I don't want to say dropped the ball, because it didn't, but you can tell it got messy. You can tell that they didn't think season 1 would be a success. They did not know where to go with the story, and on top of that, they had to, from what I heard, they had to move to a more popular time slot, so they had to appeal more to mainstream tastes, They had to appeal more to younger teenagers, I think, so there's less violence, there's less graphic stuff, the themes start becoming a bit more, and I'm going to say it now, a bit more Danganronpa with the hope, despair, hope, 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 despair, 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 hope, 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 What I felt like was very philosophical and nuanced sort of became a cartoon. They do the thing in some Star Wars movies, namely the last one, The Rise of Skywalker, Episode 9, where multiple times they do fake out deaths and they don't explain how. They're just like, oh yeah, they didn't actually die, they're still alive. They do this like 2 or 3 different times, and it gets really cheesy. They have some arcs that just absolutely feel fillery. It's just, oh my gosh, like the product, like this is where they really start advertising Pizza Hut, and it's so out of place. It's like, why is Pizza Hut here? This is so weird. The fight scenes are a lot, and like I've never really been someone who likes fight scenes all that much, but the fight scenes get a lot more boring and a lot more common. It's like, it's a bad thing to make them more prevalent. I was surprised at season 1 that it wasn't just all fight scenes. But season 2, it became oops, all fight scenes for the most part. There's just some arcs that just, they don't make sense. They're just there for unnecessary reasons. It's just, oh my gosh. I love Code Geass. I think it's a great show, but my god, it got so cheesy, and I don't know. I don't have an equivalent off the top of my head, but I guess because they had to adjust to its sudden popularity, sudden demand for the show, they had to really quickly produce season 2, and because of that, it's really messy, and it really feels like it. If you look at the animation, you look at how slender and tall and skinny and lanky and cheap the characters look, you're like, this is a Cartoon Network show, but it's not. It's really not. Season 1 is like genuinely one of the best seasons of television I've ever seen in anything. Season 2, it's like, yeah, this is a Cartoon Network show. What happened? What happened? It is so corny. That being said, I still like Code Geass, despite me ranting about how a lot of things just felt cheesy. I will still give it a 9 out of 10. I enjoyed season 1, and there's still parts of season 2 that I'd say are pretty solid, but I don't know, man. This could have easily been like a 10 out of 10 or 11 out of 10, but yeah. And by the way, the tier list goes up to 11, so I'm not speaking out of my ass when I say 11. I'll give it a 9. I still think everyone should watch season 1. I think it is so good. It's just a shame that it kind of like drops off. Like it's not like bad by any means. Like, you'll still enjoy it. It's still like a fun ride. The characters are still great, but it's like, man, this could have been so much better. So yeah, it felt like a random Yu-Gi-Oh filler moment at times. Have you seen Code Geass, Maya? That's good. That's great. This sounds super goofy. I love it. I don't know. I mean, like, it's like if Death Note didn't take itself seriously at all, but it was still like, it wasn't a shit post. It was still like, it's still like structured, but it knows when to be funny. I guess Death Note tries to take itself a little too seriously at times. Code Geass knows how to breathe every once in a while. Like, it's still like high school shenanigans at times, so that helps. Mononoke was another one. This one is only, I think there was only like 10 or 12 episodes. It was pretty short. It's like 12 episodes. This one Noel recommended. Oh, by the way, Code Geass Shaw recommended like a long time ago. This was in the original Shaw recommendations back in like April of 2023 when I was like, okay, maybe I should give this thing a try. She recommended Psyche K, Spy Family, two of my favorites, which are two of my favorites. AOT, Code Geass, and JJK. So yeah, no, I finally saw Code Geass, Geass, whatever, however you pronounce it. I don't even remember how you pronounce it. Geass, whatever. JJK is the last one in her recommendation that I haven't seen yet, and yeah, I'll see that soon. Maybe within the next stream, maybe not. Who knows? Maybe in 2 months I'll see it, 1 or 2 months. But yeah. But yeah, Mononoke Noel recommended, and it was it's very artistic. I'll say that. I have never been that big of a fan of. Okay, I want to preface by saying that I am Asian. I live in Asia. I've never been a fan of works that depict ancient Asia because that's what I'm studying in school, I guess. That's like what I've studied in school. That's what I learned in high school and middle school and college. It's like, this is not as appealing. I can imagine that an American person, they wouldn't want to learn about like World War II for the billionth time. They wouldn't want to learn about George Washington. But that intrigues me because I wasn't taught all that in school, right? So that's more appealing to me. Like if there's an anime about George Washington, I'd watch it. But and an anime about like old Japan, it's like, and also, and this isn't just relegated to Asia. This is the whole world. Obviously, when you go back that far in the past, there's a lot of sus things. There's a lot of sus ways of how we treat each other, how we treat women, how there's violence and all around. And sometimes for me, it'd be like, oh, this is too much. I don't want to watch this. Mononoke just has like historical, mythological Japanese tales, kind of. I think some of them were original to the show, but some of them are actually based on Japanese works. And it's like, I like this, but I don't love this. This is not my jam. I'm more of a sci-fi, let's look to the future kind of person than someone who looks at Asian history, for example, because like, again, I don't know. I'm just that's how I grew up, and it's like it's neutralized to me. It's not anything special anymore. The animation is very creepy. There's a lot of things up to interpretation. It does remind me of a version of Paranoia Agent, but for people who like the more artistic, theatrical, I guess Asian side of things. And if that's what you're into, that's totally fine. But it's not. It's sorry. It just wasn't that appealing to me. I think that it's an anthology like Paranoia Agent, but I think Paranoia Agent was at least in the current day. Current day to 2004, because it was made in 2004. This one is like, I've never been a fan of like historical works. That's another reason why I'm a little nervous about the Apothecary Diaries, just because like, historical Asian settings is just like, it doesn't appeal to me. I'd rather stay with the future, or at least the present, than go back to the past. The past in Asia. If it was like the past in the US or the past in Europe, then yeah, I'll give that a try. That sounds interesting. But the past in Asia, it's like, study that in school. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know if that's relatable, but yeah, that's my opinion on things. This anime is like homework, kind of. Don't talk about Death Note. Death Note's great. Watch Death Note. We're gonna watch Death Note. Death Note's awesome. What's next on the list, goobers? Let's see what's next on the list. Lucky Star is next on the list. Lucky Star was recommended to me by, I don't even remember, I think it was Broske and Amaru. I don't know why Broske, I think Broske is at a point where he realizes that I don't really like the dramatic shows that he recommends me, so he recommends me more comedy stuff, which is fair, because, his dramatic stuff tend to be closer to just, Legend of Zelda type stuff, and that's fine, but it's more like straightforward, I guess. The hero saves the princess, kills the villain. It's kind of straightforward. So they recommended me Lucky Star, and Lucky Star, I guess, the way I would describe the show is that it's Azumangadaya, as in, it's cute girls, mixed with Seinfeld. And by that, I mean, because I know for a fact that you guys don't know what Seinfeld is, so I'm just going to explain it to you. It's a show where nothing really matters. It's a show about nothing. They just do basic stuff, and they rant about everyday life. Jerry Seinfeld's a comedian in real life, and he has a stand-up act where he just talks about what he does on a daily basis. That's just kind of what Seinfeld is, and it's kind of what Lucky Star is. They just do things, and they comment on things, it's like, oh my gosh, how come so much anime has cheesy love scenes? What is this? This is such a cliche trope. How come video games do this? This is really cliche. Wow, this is like the manga I read. They reference so much. They reference Haruhi. They reference Code Geass. They reference like it's weird how much they reference in the show, just because like it just shows how diverse anime is. That like this Haruhi and Code Geass are all airing at the same time. It's like, whoa, those are like three extremely different shows. And like I know that they're of course of different genres, but just to see them being referenced in universe is trippy. I don't know. Nothing really happens in this show. They just like talk, and that's kind of charming. Like I don't know. It's there's some episodes of Haruhi that I love where they break the status quo and just do the weirdest thing. They just do the most mundane thing, and it's like, whoa, this is art. This one I feel like is kind of like art. Granted, I feel like you need like a guide on like Japanese life to understand it. I feel like I watched the show, I didn't understand 75% of it because a lot of it was so ingrained into like otaku culture in 2007. So many like Japanese terms that I just didn't understand. So many like cultural facets of life that I was like, what the heck is going on? What is going on here? I have no idea. I know what Seinfeld is. They're not babies. I disagree. You've heard of Everyone Loves Raymond, King of Queens, etc., etc. Yeah, I honestly like. I don't recommend this show because I loved it. I thought it was great, but I don't know. I wouldn't recommend anyone watching it. Not because it's bad, but just because it is very like hard to get into because it is so slice of lifey. Like it is it's the ultimate just like podcast show. You could like listen to it while you're in like the car because like none of the animation matters. It's just they're just talking about. They sit down and talk about sandwiches for like 10 minutes. It's so bizarre. This show is so weird. Yeah, no, I mean, I ranked Azumanga Daioh higher. The Hello Everyone show that was better. This one is it's not really trying to be anything groundbreaking, but it's like, okay, if you're in a car and you're bored and you just want to hear like a bunch of characters talk about the most mundane things, go for it. Like, but it's good. It's unironically good, but I wouldn't recommend it. Spice and Wolf is next, and Spice and Wolf, this one like no one recommended to me. I just thought it looked interesting, and now that I've seen it, I think this is the show. Inherently, TV shows, watching stuff, this is for, like, the humanities kids, right? The theater, art, film, music kids, right? Spice and Wolf might be the one show for the STEM kids. Maybe not the one show, but it's one of the few shows that is for the STEM kids. This show is Oops All Economy. I don't know how to like, they talk about trade, they talk about tariffs, they talk about making profits, with strategies with markets and business and how to sell products and like how to trade spices and salt and medicine and how to like get loans and interest and get like good benefits. It's so weird. This is like an economy show, and like I understand that maybe it's appealing to some people, and there was some bile fascination. There was some fascination I had because I was like, this is unique because I'm learning about trade in a show. I know that doesn't sound interesting. I think, it's between two characters. It's between a guy and a wolf, or fox, rather. And I think, like, the story's about the romance, but the overarching, plot is economy. It's so weird. This show is so weird. I don't know, maybe I need to watch more of it. I only saw, like, 12 episodes of it. Maybe it gets better at the end, but I didn't drop it because this is the end of a season. But it was so fascinating at how absolutely like economy filled it was. Like all the conflict was like, oh my gosh, these people want to steal my goods, so I'm gonna raise the prices, I'm gonna tax them 10%. It was like, what the heck is going on here? I don't know, it's so weird. This show is so weird. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Like, it says bad. I wouldn't say bad, it's just like you like it more if you're a STEM kid. That's all I can say. If you like math and numbers and learning about business, then like, yeah. But like, if you want like conflict and stories and feelings and characters and desires and stuff, you're not gonna get that in the show. At least in the first 12 episodes. Maybe later. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and say that this is just the very slow burn. But man, this is a weird show. What do you mean it's about the economy? It's about the economy. I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I'm like, I feel like you guys, you listen to me, and you're like, oh, that's maybe, then maybe they had like 4 conversations about the economy, and JP doesn't like it. No, that show is, oops, all economy. It's so weird. They will go multiple episodes talking about like moving to different towns to trade better goods because the people there have a better market share on the economy, and then the laws set by the government is like, oh, here they don't tax you as much. It's like, what the heck? What is this? Oh man. So yeah, two shows that just have very mundane sort of topics. The next one is kind of like that. Casher and Sins is the next one on the list. This was Broske Rec. And originally, I didn't like it. Not, okay, I didn't see a single minute of the show yet. I was like, if this is a Broske show, I'm probably not going to like it, because Broske shows are always very old-fashioned. They're very, like, kind of boring and what have you. Very simple. This one's interesting because it's about a guy who is one of the last... Well, okay. Like, one of the last, like... When I say one of the last, I mean, like, one of, like, maybe 1,000 people on Earth. Like, the Earth has been trashed. The Earth, as we know it, is gone. And the reason why it's gone is because he killed the person that was saving life. So he is, like, the murderer. The ultimate murderer. Because he fucked over the world. But he has amnesia, so he doesn't know. He doesn't remember why he did it. He doesn't know exactly how he did it. And it's really a travel show, kind of like Cowboy Bebop, where he travels across the planet and he sees how people are coping with, there's not as much food, there's not as much water, there's illness everywhere, all the humans are pretty much dead, all the robots, they're running out of battery, they're running out of life, and it's because of him. He fucked over the planet. And it's so fascinating, the world building in the show, because you see how all these people cope with lack of resources, and it's the apocalypse, the world as we know it got fucked over. He goes to different cities and towns and sees different, like, cultures of how people are coping with the end of the world. And that's all fine and good. There's one song in one episode in the first half that is really, like, melancholy, because it's like, yeah, the world's dead. Now the problem is they spam that song over and over in the second half. They start spamming it like crazy. It's like, oh my god, it was good the first few times, but now that you're spamming it, it's less meaningful. This show is really great in the first half because it is episodic. They don't tell you a lot of story. It is up to interpretation. Again, it is like Cowboy Bebop. You don't fully have a grasp on the backstories nor the world, and that it is super fascinating how bits and pieces are shown here and there that imply what exactly happened. Right. And then the second half, it becomes, like, super story driven. The second half of the show, it's very, like, it explains everything. It explains the lore, it explains the bad guys and the government, and did I say the government? I meant the gangs that caused this and why he did it, and, people are going against him, and all the corporations that want to get him, and it gets a lot less interesting when it gets a plot. When it had no plot, when it was just a guy coming to terms with his past by exploring the destroyed planet, that is super fascinating. That is super, like, a big character-driven sort of show. But when you give it, like, a plot, and now it's like, oh, I must defeat the bad guy, and the bad guys are after me, and I must run, and, like, this is my past. It's like, I liked it better when the storytelling was super subtle and, like, nothing was explained. You had to piece it together through your own intellect and through your own, knowledge, I guess, of the world. So, like, yeah, the first half was super good. Like, if the show ended in the first half, it's like, bravo. But it continued, and I don't even remember much of the second half just because it was a lot of slog. It was just a lot of, like, slow-paced story. So ironically enough, when this show got a story, it stopped being as good. I will still give it, like, I'll still give it, like a 10. I think this is a 10 out of 10 show. But, like, man. And this will be a recurring theme with everything I watch. Not everything, but most of the things I watched this month, right? Started out really good, but the second half dropped the ball. Code Geass, right? Code Geass and Casher and Sins are the first two examples. There are some particularly egregious examples coming up next. Okay, there are some particularly egregious ones. Oh man. Oh man, oh man. This is Broske slander. But yeah, no, I mean, like there are no women in the show, but there's also just no people in the show because they're all dead. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, yeah. Next up, we have a Miranda Rec, and this is one of the only Miranda Recs, I think. Can I be an anime? No, you can't be an anime. This is one of the only Miranda Recs. 11 Eyes. This show, in my opinion, it's weird because, I think I wanted to be nice. This is one of the few Miranda Recs. Of course, I want to rank it relatively high. I don't want to be too harsh on, like, one of the few things. Like, No Game, No Life, she also recommended it, and that one, like, gave me a seizure. Not literally, but, the colors were just all over the place. This one was also very colorful. This one was very red. It's a very red show. Like, there's red filters everywhere. This, I want you to imagine Persona 3. If Persona 3 was more generic, a more generic isekai, that is what this show is. It is another visual novel adaptation, which is weird because it's very action-packed. I don't know how a visual novel can be action-packed unless they show like little cutscenes or whatever, or little graphics going on. I do not recommend the show at all. This is another. I'm gonna give this like a 4. This is like a 4. Honestly, it might be a 3. I'm gonna lower it to a 3. It is. There is unnecessary amounts of sexual stuff in this show. The characters are okay, but they're very generic. The villains are just villains. They don't like have any depth going on. The colors are kind of grating. It's I don't know. It's so generic. If you want a visual novel adaptation, all right. Well, okay. If you want like action, I don't know what to do. I don't know, but like you got other good visual novel adaptations. This one did not translate that well. I can't even say like having more episodes would be good because I just don't think this is a good visual novel to begin with. But I've never read it, so I can't judge too much. But based on the source material, this doesn't seem like a very good visual novel to begin with. I don't think anyone likes this visual novel, to be honest. I looked online and no one was really praising it. It seems to be just an obscure one, and perhaps the fact that it's not even dubbed in English might have been a hint as to how like unpopular this was. That being said, I'm gonna have to dance around this, and it's very weird because none of you have seen this, and I don't really recommend anyone see this. There is one scene at the very end of episode 11. There's 12 episodes. If they ended in episode 11, that would be the funniest thing ever. If they actually ended the show in episode 11, this is a 10 out of 10 show. They did not end in episode 11. They had one more episode. I'm gonna be very vague here, but that would have been the funniest way to end a show if they just stopped. But sadly, they did not stop. They continued. So yeah, it's a 3 out of 10. Hello, Brosuke. Welcome. No, be harsh on women. Brosuke does it all the time. So yeah, 3 out of 10. We're almost done. How long have we been streaming? I feel like we haven't been streaming for very long. Like 34 minutes. Okay. Next up, we have K-On! I hope you stick around, Brosuke. We're about to get into Durara in a few minutes. K-On! Was recommended to me by Leo, and it is a feel-good show. The girls are in school and they want to form a band, and they do it. They form a band and it's cute, and that's it. That's the whole show. It's cute, it's nice, it's feel good, makes you feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, but it's like, where's the conflict? Give me a little bit of conflict. I need a little bit, just a little. Give me some petty squabbling. They can still be friends at the end. That's fine, but just give me a little reason to be invested. Okay, like My Little Pony friendship is magic. Friendship is magic, of course. They're all friends. They're all nice to each other, but I need a little bit. I don't mind a feel-good show if it's like a comedy show, but it's not that much of a comedy show. The jokes aren't that good. I think I said this to Amaru a few days ago, but K-On! Is a slice of life show with music elements, whereas a future thing down the list, Love Live, and by the way, this is the wrong Love Live. I need to fix this. Love Live is a music show with slice of life elements, and I think that is so much better because in K-On! They don't really have a goal. Yes, they want to be a music group, but it's very like on the back burner. It just feels supplementary, and that's not super interesting when the characters aren't that driven. They're just friends, and I understand inherently that people will say that, oh, these characters are just friends. They're so boring. But no joke, that is the show. The show is just they're all friends. School Idol Project. Where is it? What? I guess this is, yeah, it's here. Why is it so low? But yeah, K-On! I am struggling to remember anything that happened in the show. They're just nice to each other. They're kind. They go on sleepovers. They go to the beach. They make music. They help each other. It's like, again, even My Little Pony will have some conflict here and there. There will be some beef. There'll be some misunderstandings. There'll be some moments to have them grow. And I'm not saying the characters don't grow. The characters do grow, but it's very subtle. It's very feel good. And I don't know, maybe I'm old, maybe I'm jaded, maybe I'm not the target demographic. I'm a guy watching a show for what I assume is younger girls. Maybe I just want a bit of fighting, you know. Fight over the most petty thing ever, have a misunderstanding. I'm evil. I'm so evil. Okay, I'll give it like a 6. I don't have anything like bad to say about the show. I don't think I'll be watching season 2 for a while. Maybe season 2. There's conflict there. Maybe that's where the character development really kicks into high gear. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really watch these things to feel good. You know, if you want to feel good, then here, K-On, watch K-On. You don't want to watch a cute show with zero conflict? You want to punch them each other? Yeah. No, I want there to be like, okay, if there's zero conflict, there has to be good jokes. It has to be a funny like comedy, right? But this one's not really a comedy. There's one scene where one girl kicks the other, and that's funny, but that's it. That's like episode 1. Like, Acxeleon saw me, like, laughing like a crazy person at a scene where a girl kicked another girl. And that's, like, as much conflict as they get. That might be the most conflict in the entire show. Yeah. I don't know. Next up we have Do-Ra-Ra-Ra-Ra-Ra-Ra-Ra-Ra. This is the Broske Rec, the big Broske Rec that he's recommended to myself and Robin. The Daily Lives of High School Boys. It's conflict. Like, that one has comedy and conflict. That is both of the things I'm asking for, you know. K-On has neither of that. Durara. Okay, so we're going to talk about Durara. Here. We're going to talk about Durara. Where is it? Where's Durara? We're going to talk about Durara here. I want to show you this. So Durara is interesting because it has, like, 15 main characters. And every episode, more or less, you see a different perspective of a different character. So you can see multiple events happening through different perspectives. Maybe you have a thief who's going inside a factory, and then in the second episode it'll be like the thief from outside the factory looking at, like a bystander from outside the factory looking at what's going on. And then maybe the third episode you have a security guard who's like infiltrating the factory trying to stop the thief. You know, you'll have the lives of the people who work at the factory. For example, this is just an example. And that itself is super interesting. This show was made by the same people who made Bacano, and if you know what Bacano is, it's a show where it's out of chronological order. It also has like 15 to 20 characters in the span of 12 episodes, and they have to you have to piece it together basically. It's a lot of different subplots. Some of them intersect, some of them don't, and it's crazy because it's set throughout completely different time periods. Here it's more streamlined. It's more of an anthology, I would say, in the first half, where every episode is a different main character, and you learn a lot about them. You know, maybe the best friend character in episode 1 has much deeper lore in episode 7, and you don't know that until episode 7. There's a lot of supernatural elements. Well, okay, there's a few supernatural elements. I wouldn't say it's the driving force of the series, but it's definitely there. It really does feel like the town is a character. The city they live in is a big character because the culture of what's going on really explains why some characters are the way that they are. And I think that's fascinating. It's kind of like Spider-Man, where in Spider-Man, the New York aesthetic is a big character as to why so many people are down on their luck or need money or have to resort to violence or crimes to get what they want. This reminds me of that. And I really do like Durara for that. I really have to commend this show for really building a believable world, despite not even being like a fantasy or sci-fi setting. It's just, you know, modern day Japan. Well, at least when the show came out, like modern day to 2010. And it's just really fascinating to study all these different characters, how all of them feel nuanced, even though they don't get a whole lot of screen time, I would say, because it's 15 characters divided by one season, right? And it's great. And that being said, the second half of season 1, you lose a lot of the stuff I loved about the first half. You lose the aesthetic of each and every character matters, because now it's really down to 3. I'm sure that maybe 1 or 2 of the episodes focused on one of the other characters, but everyone else, you see this poster, you see like these it's kind of blurry, but like you see this guy and this motorcycle person and the scientist and this like gangster. They're not important. These are like some of the best characters. I mean, not this guy. This guy's annoying. But maybe I don't like this guy because he reminds me of me. These characters are cool. They don't focus on them anymore. They're gone from the show in the second half. It is these three characters, and it's not like the most generic love story ever. It's not the most generic love triangle ever, but it's very like, we had a good thing going. We were talking about, supernatural stuff. We're talking about conspiracies. We're talking about different gangs and using the digital online media to manipulate people and get them to do your bidding and justice and whatnot. And then here it's like these three people, they're like, I'm trying not to spoil too much, but it's a love triangle, and it's not the most generic thing ever, but it's pretty close to the most generic thing ever. It's like next in line to generic, right? And it's just not interesting. It's not anything that you haven't seen before, right? Maybe if, like, this is your first anime ever, maybe it's interesting, but like it's just, I don't want to say it's mundane. It's just, it loses a lot of the charm. There's still some cool moments in the second half. I'm not going to say the whole second half is boring. There are some cool moments. Ironically enough, the cool moments are when these three are separated. When it is just one of them, or even, hopefully none of them. Off the top of my head, I can think of some pretty interesting scenes, but I think a lot of why the first half was so good was the mystery of different characters' lore. There's no more mystery in the second half. It is more, let's get from point A to point B, whereas in the first half, it's like, oh, how does this connect to this? Why is this here? Who is the person behind this? The second half doesn't really do that. And that's my big beef with the show, is that just like Keshin Sins and Code Geass, kind of drops the ball in the second half. I highly recommend Season 2. It fixes the issues of the second half. Even Durara realized the unnecessary aspect of it because it hardly mentions it. Good. Like that, oh my god. I would recommend, I don't know, I haven't seen the second season yet, but I would recommend watching the first half of Durara and then just skipping the second half of Season 1. Right, I wish it was 2 seasons because it would be easier to explain, but it's not. It's just one season that's like somewhat cut in half. The first half is like the setup with the 15 characters, and then the second half it really only focuses on 3, which are in like a love triangle. And it's like, this is not as good. It's not as good. You're awesome, a bit of a weeb, but still awesome. Also, this guy is like one of the most annoying characters in all of fiction. I don't think he's badly written. I want to point that out because he's meant to be annoying. And he's not like a poorly written annoying character. He's a well-written annoying character. But holy shit, he's so annoying. This guy's so fucking annoying. The show acknowledges it. Like, his plans don't always work out. Sometimes he gets karma. Like, people beat the shit out of him. But he's so annoying. Well-written annoying, but still annoying. But I'm not gonna dock any points for it because it is funny to see him get beat up every now and then. I'm gonna give this an 8. I think season 1 10 out of 10, masterpiece. But first half of season 1 10 out of 10. The full season 1 though, I'm gonna have to give it an 8. I'll have to dock some points of it. Not enough points to make it drop that far in the ranking. We'll get to that in a bit. We'll get to a show that does that in a bit. But yeah, no, Durara, I don't know. Had a good start. Had a really good start. Does that mean, yeah, fuck yeah, I'm hella annoying. Anyway, what's up next? We're almost done. Blue Exorcist was next. We only have 4 more shows to go. Damn. Blue Exorcist is next, and this one... Okay, so you know the image of the caveman? The caveman is walking out. It starts off as a fish, and then it becomes a monkey, and then it becomes a Homo sapien, and then it becomes a human, or whatever. That is what Blue Exorcist feels like to MHA, to Demon Slayer, to JJK, to One Punch Man even, arguably, to AOT, to all of these, popular boy shows for young boys with a chosen one protagonist. Blue Exorcist feels like the precursor to all that, and in some ways that's fascinating, because I think that it has the Cartoon Network, schlockiness that mostly gets lost by the time you hit MHA in 2016-ish, for the most part. It still has that early 2000s schlockiness, even though it was made in 2011. There's a lot of just episodic stuff that doesn't contribute to the overarching plot, and I really do like that over AOT, honestly. I think, for me, in MHA, my favorite parts, and this might be controversial, my favorite parts are the parts where the characters just do school stuff. They're doing a swimming contest, or they're in class, or they're training for a big fight, or they're doing a school tournament. That is so fascinating. I love that stuff more than the Save the World stuff. If the whole show of MHA was just the characters doing PE together, or dorming together, or doing like projects for a school fair. Like, there's a school festival arc that people hate in MHA, and I love that. That is one of my favorites. I'm getting pins and needles on my foot. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh, my foot. I've been sitting too long. Anyway, yeah. No, I mean, the Blue Exorcist, the first few episodes of Blue Exorcist are genuinely, like, not good, I would say. I would say, like, if you watch the first, like, one or two episodes, you might think, okay, this is just kind of boring. It's just, like, a dude fighting, and, like, he's also, like, a demon or whatever. And the whole show is interesting because the main character's a demon, but he goes to school about exorcising demons, and he's not, like, entirely keeping it a secret, but, you know, it does create this interesting conflict where it's, like, him and his brother are both the sons of Satan, and he's in a school where they kind of exorcise demons. So it's a bit about, like, identity and who he is and whatnot. Yeah, no, I mean, they do a lot of school stuff. Not as much as I would like, but more than MHA, and I can respect that. I can absolutely respect that. And there are times where it's just very fun, very slice of lifey. And I don't think the Save the World segments of the first half, no, I say of the first half, is that bad. That being said, when you get to the second half, they had to make an anime-only arc because there wasn't enough material out yet. The manga was still coming out, so they had to do something, but they didn't know what to do. So they did an anime-exclusive arc where it focuses on the lore and the backstory of the characters, I think, and that was pretty cool. They talk about their birth and their parents and all that stuff. But to me, it lost a lot of steam just because it felt very irrelevant. Because it is irrelevant. It is anime only. It's not in the manga. Maybe it helps give you some background on the characters, but it just felt like this is not going to come into play later. This is just to fill out time. And that's not the show's fault. I can't really blame the show too much because they just didn't have any material left. But I wish they ended it early. Maybe if season 1 ended in episode 16, 17, you know, before the anime-only arc, that would have been better. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. It had a strong start, but that second half, it didn't bore me to tears, but it felt kind of meaningless. It was like, this is not gonna come into play later. I'm gonna give it like a 7. Like, if it was a bit shorter, then yeah, it would be better than MHA, but sadly, yeah, again, second half, kind of meh. Which is a recurring theme this month. The second half, kind of meh. Yeah, it had a really strong start. I was really rooting for this to be the MHA killer, but it's not. And obviously, MHA is more modern. That helps a lot. MHA started in 2016. It's still going as of 2025. This one started in 2011, so obviously it was going to be an uphill battle in my eyes, because obviously I like stuff in the 2010s more than the stuff in the pseudo 2000s, right? But yeah, we love Isaiah. Who's Isaiah? Oh yeah. Oh my god. Okay, Blue Exorcist is interesting because, like, the first, for many episodes, doesn't seem like there's fan service. And then out of nowhere, there's just this big boobed character that just kind of comes out of nowhere. And she becomes, like, the most... Oops, I didn't mean to open Spotify. She just becomes the most, like, relevant... Not the most relevant, but one of the most relevant and important characters. And it's like, where did you come from? With this random boobed character? What the heck? The show was not about this for the first half. It just introduced it out of nowhere. On Exercise with Demons. Too much Bryce Papenbrook for you. Maybe. Like, my god. I want to watch it. It's not even that good. Animation, like, her animation's not that good. Like, honestly, she even feels out of place in the show. Like, her animation feels out of place. I don't know how to describe it. Okay, 3 more shows to go. Magi is the show Gon recommended to me. It's basically Aladdin Alibaba. And like I said with Mononoke, I am not super interested in historical Eastern works. I'm not gonna say Asia, but I'll say Eastern. That being said, this one is like the Middle East. This one takes from the 1001 Arabian Night stories, like Aladdin and Alibaba and all that stuff. So that puts it in a weird position where it's not. I don't know a lot about this, but it's aesthetically similar to Japan, China, Philippines, Indonesia. But I did find myself interested in it. Um, I wouldn't say it's similar to like Demon Slayer, MHA, JJK, AOT, all that stuff. It's not that similar to it, but it has a lot of the elements that you would expect, I would say. Um, I think the world building is pretty great. You have a vast world of the Middle East, but through a Japan lens. Um, I don't know. I paused halfway through season one, so I'm not even done with the first season of it. It's it's interesting, but it's one of those shows where you don't, at least for me, there's not really a character I root for, and that's not always what I look for in shows. I don't always have a character that I really like in the show, but this is one of those shows where it's like I don't like any of the I don't hate any of the characters, but I don't like any of them either. Um, I don't know, and it feels like for a show with such a small cast, it feels like none of them are that developed in the first half. It feels like sometimes they'll show up for 2 episodes, then they'll disappear for like 4 or 5 episodes, and they just won't do a lot. And sometimes when they do stuff, it's super generic. And again, I've not seen the full story, so I can't. Maybe I'm not in the position to judge. But yeah, I don't know. It's I like the aesthetic. The aesthetic is cool. It's the Middle East, um, and that in it of itself, because it pulls from the Saudi Arabian mythos, it's like more historical than anything else. But it's just I don't know. There is a genie character, um, and she straight up it's a female genie, and she straight up has her nipples out, and it's like, whoa, this is illegal. You can't have this on Cartoon Network. What is this? But yeah, you can't have this on Cartoon Network. You need to get more favorite characters. Can't be Fi forever. The genie that I just talked about, who had her nipples out, she's voiced by Fi. So make of that of what you will. Yeah, Magi. It's cool. Did you get to talk about Monster? I haven't watched. No, Monster's not on the list. I haven't seen Monster. I haven't seen it this month. No. Someone should make like a list of all the shows I watched during these streams and put like the timestamps if anyone wants to watch in the future. But yeah, Magi, it's not even here. Where is it? Did I not even add it? Here we go. I have not completed it. I'll put it like on. Magi, 7? 7 seems good. This is one of the shows where the world carries it more than the characters or the themes or the plot. The world is so fascinating. It's just like, I wish it was more in focus, you know? Next up, this is the second to last one. We have Love Live. I just finished watching season 2 in less than a day. I watched season 1 in less than a day, and I watched season 2 in less than a day as well. This is the ultimate comfort show. Okay. It's not okay. It's not my ultimate comfort show, but I feel like to appeal to the widest demographic possible, this is probably the best comfort show for a lot of people. I prefer a show called Buddy Daddies, and I think my only the only thing separating Buddy Daddies in this is that Buddy Daddies is 12 episodes, and this one is 24 episodes. It's a bit longer, but I do think that it tells a full story. It's very concise, it's very compact, it's very feel-good, but there is conflict. There is drama, there is stakes, there are rivals, there's beef, there is lies being spread, there are rumors, you know. The girls in question, they go through, they go through ups and downs of what it's like being a club. It's like I'm making it out to be more dramatic than it actually is. Like, it's school, it's high school, they want to be idols, they want to succeed. Sometimes things get in the way. It's not like the most like intense thing ever, but obviously you feel for it. You know, there's some moments you're like, whoa, that's drama, or like, whoa, that's a good conflict. This is a very good. This is a very I wouldn't even say it's a feel good show. It's just a very satisfying show. You know, Miranda used No Game No Life as comfort food as an example. Even though it's kind of a corny show, it's a very comforting show. I think this show is like a warm soup. You know, I think it'll appeal to a lot of people. I think a lot of people should see the show. I heard somewhere that like even though it's an all girl show, it actually appeals more to men, and I can kind of see why because there are some perverted stuff that I'm like, yeah, this is like this. They added this for the weird guys in the audience, and that's why it can appeal to men or women or non-binaries, them as well. But yeah, it's nice to see a goal-driven show. Like K-On! My big complaint is that the girls they don't feel like they care that much. They feel super casual. They just feel like, oh, if we are musicians, that'd be good. Here it's like, no, we gotta be musicians. This is my dream. This is my destiny. We have to win. And it's like, dang, this is good. They go through failure. They go through loss. They gain things. They lose things. The girls have beef and misunderstandings, and they go through moments where they're like, what does it mean to be a band? And it's like, man, this is awesome. As someone who's friends with cosplayers, this is not the same. Being a school idol is not really the same as being a cosplayer, but it's close, and it's like I can kind of understand the cosplay culture a bit better now. And I think that's neat. I think that's quite neat. Yeah, I don't know. It's 24 episodes. It's not the most tightly written thing ever. My one complaint would be that like there's 9 girls because I'm pretty sure the video game has 9 girls, and because that's a pretty big number of main characters. They can't focus on all of them. Some of them feel kind of undercooked, but for the most part, they do a good job at developing like 6 or 7 of them. And, that's good enough. They can be background characters. They don't need to be. Not everyone needs to be like the big main character. I just wish that they put a bit more time into the slightly underdeveloped ones. But it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. But yeah, no, I mean, if you want a comfort show that is slightly longer, or maybe not comfort show, if you want a satisfying show that's slightly longer than 12 episodes, it's 24 episodes, I would say this is it. I don't know, it's just good. It's just very good. I'm gonna give it a 10. On my ranking, it's a 10.3 out of 11. I can't say it's an 11 just because, like, I mean, stakes aren't that high. But yeah, no, it's a good show. It's a jolly good show. Ew, women, I prefer my gay-coded buddy daddies. I love Magi and Sinbad lore. I want to see JPEG as an idol now. You can sing, dress up, and stir up drama. I don't know. I'd be stirring up drama all day. That's what I would. Look, I like drama in shows because that's how characters grow. The drama in real life, I can give or take it. Give it or take. I'm old now. I'm 23. Like maybe in high school when I was like 18, 19, 20, it'd be like, ooh, this is building character. But now it's like, I can do without it. We're all old now. We're all wise. That's not saying that like you stop growing. No, we don't stop growing. But at a certain point, it's like. I just want everyone to be chill, If there is drama, I want it to be like drama where everyone is like, yeah, I agree to disagree. Or it's like, yeah, you know what? Even though we fought, at least we grew from it. That's cool. I like that. That's why I like this Venture Camp All Stars. Anyway, moving on. I'm old now. In his early 20s. Okay, for the Venture Camp community, I'm a grandpa. Okay, there are some people there that are like 17, and they are like. The wise ones that everyone listens to their takes because they're 17 and everyone else is like 14 or whatever. It's like 23 is significantly old in that community. Okay, last but not least, we have to talk about this one. We have to talk about Golden Time. It's not here. I didn't add it. God damn it. We have to talk about Golden Time. Spell it wrong. Okay. Man. I have words to say about this show. I have a lot of words to say about the show, and I will be not yelling, but I'll be speaking to Dr. Robin about this show when it's time. If you're a grandpa, then I'm 23. How old are you, Maya? I don't know how old you are. Golden Time. It's a show that's very fat. I don't know why the girl she's not the main character. It looks like she's the main character. She's not. It's this guy who's the main character. Honestly, this is prophetic. Okay, this is probably intentional. And I kind of like this is kind of genius. She's not the main character, but she has main character syndrome, so that makes sense. Like this guy's the main character. There's this guy, and he gets into an accident where he has amnesia. So he does not know what happened in his first 18 years of life. So he goes into college. He has no identity because he doesn't know who he is. And it's kind of like Erased, where Erased is about a guy who goes back in time to see like the stories of people he used to know. It's kind of like this, where he looks back and talks to his classmates, and they are trying to keep stuff from him because they're like, oh, we can start anew. He doesn't remember. This is a new person basically. He's starting new life, and he struggles with that. It's very, maybe not relatable, but it's very like you feel very sympathetic to this guy. He has no idea what went on in his life. Like the first 18 years of his life are just gone. He has to live with that. And I think that is so interesting how he talks to different girls and guys, and like he has past relationships with all of them, but they keep secrets from him because like they want to start fresh. And so he starts dating. I'm gonna say some spoilers. I don't want you guys watching the show. If you guys haven't watched the show, what the heck? It's so popular. What? It's in the top 150. I thought this was like relatively obscure, but apparently it's in the top 150. That's surprising to me. Let's see the negative reviews. Okay, that's not. Okay, I mean, okay, yeah, that's not as much as I thought. Okay, whatever. So he basically he dates this girl, and I think right off the bat there's a red flag in your head because usually you don't like in these romance type shows, and maybe this is just based on what I know. Usually you don't like date the girl right off the bat, right? You usually like you don't like the girl. The show builds up to it, and you date the girl later. Like I think as early as episode 3 or 4, him and the girl are already dating, and then you realize that she's really toxic. She is very like stalkery. She's very lazy. She's very self-centered. She's very selfish. And so in the back of your mind, you're thinking, okay, I like where this is going. This story is not about his romance with this girl. The story is about how he overcomes it and realizes you're not a good person. I don't like you, and he goes for one of the other girls that he has history with. He's on the bridge. They're very kind to him. They care about him. She is like so self-centered. At every possible moment in the story, she will just like undermine everything he does to be just a selfish person. They get into fights, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't have a problem with the fights they get into, but even just the casual stuff, the back of your mind, you're like, this story is building up to a moment where he says, fuck you, and he goes for the girl that actually cares about him. The thing is, the show doesn't do that. At the end of the show, they get together. It's like, what the fuck did I just watch? What the hell did I just watch? What do you mean they get together? And then on top of that, the second half of the show, there's no supernatural elements. Suddenly, the amnesia becomes a character. And then there's all this stuff about like, oh, it's like a ghost, and then the ghost starts talking to his friends. It's like, what the hell? This was not a supernatural show to begin with. What the fuck happened? What am I watching? I don't know. It's just like, it's so weird. Because the whole time she was so selfish, and I thought in the back of my mind, okay, either she's gonna learn to not be selfish, or he's gonna stand up for himself, and neither of those things happen. The end of the show, they get together, and she is still super toxic. It's like, what the fuck? It's so bizarre. There's no moment where he like learns that, oh, maybe I shouldn't be like her bitch. Maybe I should defend myself. Maybe I shouldn't let her dictate what I do. Maybe I should go with the girls that actually love me and care about me and are nice to me. And like, you'd think, okay, maybe it's a commentary on how some couples are just toxic. Some couples just aren't meant to be. And I'm like, but where? Like, look, with this venture camp, I'm gonna have to shoehorn this venture camp here. People have some problems with Tom Jake, and they're like, oh, Jake. The story says he tries, but I don't think he tries. But like at least the story is trying to say that he tries, right? The story is saying like, oh, Jake's doing his best. He makes mistakes, but at least like he's trying to be a better person. He's trying not to be impulsive and arrogant and selfish and gullible, right? The story doesn't do that here. Like this guy is just, he's not even trying. He's just a dumbass. The whole time, he's a fucking dumbass. Like, honestly, the amnesia ghost thing is making most of the decisions for him, and it's not even like, oh, it's metaphorical. The ghost is like a metaphor. Like, no, the ghost is actually real. The ghost talks to his friends. It's like, what the hell? What am I watching? What am I watching? I don't know. I really thought this was going to be a genius subversion where for the first, like, 20 episodes, it's about his relationship with the toxic girl, and then he rebounds to the actual good girl. But no, that just never happens. the whole show was just the toxic girl, and it's like, what the fuck? That is what the fuck? Like, this girl might be the most selfish character I've seen in any anime. I'm not even kidding. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like, look, I don't mind petty. Again, I love that shit. I love the petty college fights. I love the petty hormone filled irrational decisions and arguments. Like, that is so fun to me. But like, and there's nothing wrong. A lot of people, there's a scene with a car. I'm not gonna say what happens in the car. It's not sex. There's a scene in the car that's just really controversial, and people hate that. I don't hate it. I think, oh, this is really accurate to how people would act. I don't have a problem with that. I think my problem is just the ending feels so unearned. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? This is horrible. This is horrible. Again, people are like, oh, Jake and Tom, they didn't deserve it. I'm like, Jake tried, okay? He's trying to make bonds with the people he wronged. He's trying to make amends. He's trying to grow as a person, right? Like, he's learning from his past to not make the same mistakes, right? That, like, even if you think the execution is bad, at least the intention there is that he's trying. This kid does not fucking try. This fucking kid does not try. It's frustrating. This show's frustrating. This show. Okay. The first, like, 20, no. Yeah, the first, like, 20 episodes, I'm like, this is a 10 out of 10 show. There's gonna be a big moment where he's like, fuck you, girl. I don't want you. You're rude. You're toxic. I'm tired. I'm tired of you. But no, never happens. It's so disappointing. Fucking ghost. There's a ghost in this. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, we're gonna read some of the negative. This is bullshit. There's no way there's 244 positive reviews. It is also made by the same person who made Toradora. Toradora is about, like, starting a relationship. This one's about maintaining a relationship, and I thought it was, like, maintaining and realizing that a relationship is toxic, but no, that's just not what it is. I'm gonna read the positives. I wanna read the fucking positives. I'm curious. This is so weird to me that there's more. Like, this stuff is good. The stuff about, like, identity, where the character is like, oh my god, they only know the old me, they don't know the present me, where he's arguing with his two sides, where he basically has split personality. He doesn't have split personality disorder, but because of his amnesia, he doesn't know the first 18 years of his life. He might as well have it, because, it's like the two different sides of the protagonist, right? Most well-written, I mean, like, I don't know. Hmm. Also, it takes place in college, which is cool because most anime takes place in like high school. So I mean, at least it's in college, I guess. Okay, these people are from 2014. Maybe that's the consensus, is that like it was good for its time, and then people really thought about it and they thought about the implications and they were like, oh, this is not good. This is toxic. No, never mind. It's also 2014. That's interesting. Okay, I'm gonna see if there are any positive reviews from like past 2016. Um, like, because obviously, I feel like for the most part, humans are prone to being more positive like immediately, um, whereas like, you know, later on they're like, oh, looking back, maybe I shouldn't have been so positive. You know what I mean? Like, people were crying at the Adventure Camp season 2 finale, and it's like, that, why? It's not earned at all. Uh, okay, I mean, it's not really even a comedy, to be honest. A lot of people say they got depression from the show, and I think like the show's not that depressing. I think they're weenies. I think they just cry over like basic stuff. I think the only like sad thing about the show, again, I'm not a feeler. I'm more of a thinker. Like, Erased did like almost nothing for me, and like that's a show that gets a lot of feelers to tears. I'm like, that show did nothing for me. That show is so cheap and cheesy and corny. And fails in a lot of ways, and the ending is bad. But even the feelers agree that the ending is bad if Erased. Golden Time, on the other hand, let me tell you, let me tell you, the only depressing thing about this show is how it ended, because I think it had a lot of ground to be a show where like it's just like, yeah, not all relationships work, but I mean, you got to look for the people that are always there. I'm not gonna, I've been ranting about how bad it is. I'm still gonna give it a 5. Again, I had fun for 20 episodes. maybe now that I know the context of where the story is heading, maybe I'll like it less. But I still had fun. I'm not gonna deny that I had a good time. But man, this was like 10. This was like gonna be a 10. It really dropped the ball at the end. I am salty. But yeah, there we go, you guys. We're done. We've ranked every. Oh, wait, one more. God damn it! I forgot about Fruits Basket. Okay, Fruits Basket season 2. The first season, like it says first season, but I'm gonna rank it as if this is the first and second season. It's better. It's 9. Second season really good. Season 1 is the setup. Season 2 is the payoff. Or a lot of payoffs. Some characters are not super developed, and to be fair, I don't think they ever were meant to be. So that's fine. Honestly, I'll give it a 10. I'll give it a 10. Season 1 is kind of boring because it just shows the problems, shows the different struggles, but doesn't really solve them. Season 2, I'm not going to say it solves them, but it talks more about them, talks more about the history and the goals and why characters are the way that they are. There's a lot more slice of life, just fun elements that aren't super like, we're introducing a character now. Instead of introducing the character, it's more about, okay, now that we introduce them, let's just show them having fun. Let's show them in different scenarios. They're at the beach, they're at the mall, they're just hanging out together at home, right? And I think that's fun. It shows a lot of the characters in a different light about like their parents or about their backstories, but actually tries to reach a conclusion, and I think that's fun. So Fruits Basket season 2, you can't just watch season 1. Season 1 is just all set up. Season 2 is where the real meat of the story happens. So it's really good. So I'm excited to watch season 3. I think that's where all the finale stuff and closure and whatnot happens. Hopefully, I think the story is in a really interesting direction. I want to watch season 3, but you know I'm doing this challenge right now, and I've got a lot of other stuff to watch. But yeah. Another chance to watch again. It's not. Oh my god! I started Disventure Camp. Conversation. What have I done? Anyway, it's not Jake's fault. The Phantom's ableist towards a more accurate depiction of BPD representation ever. He's so silly. He just wants to rant about anime. I just accept that you're not the only one who doesn't like the silly anime. You're the only one who doesn't like. I'm not one of the only ones. I think Robin doesn't like it. I think Robin just has. I don't know. Actually, I need to talk to Robin about it. Beach episode. Sorry, let the broski take over. So yeah, I'm gonna put the little descriptions that I haven't done this in a while because I just forgot. Nothing is a 10 out of 10. This. Oh, that's. Oh, I guess Fruits Basket, but I mean. Okay, I'll put the little funny descriptions that I usually do. Cowboy Bebop, but the second half isn't episodic anymore. Good job, broski. You had a good rec for the first half. Love Live. K on, but good? No, maybe. K on, but the girl, but it's gonna sound so rude, but you actually give a shit about the girl. That's so mean. Fruits Basket. Oh, maybe you should. Okay. Fruits Basket. Okay. Let's see. Code Geass. There's only one thing we can put for Code Geass, and that's Pizza Hut. You know, Pizza Hut ruined the show because I think season 2 is when they started to be more monitored by the big companies like Pizza Hut, and that's why there is Pizza Hut, because they were like, oh, we need to advertise it. You gotta tone it down. You can't have this much violence. You can't have this much darkness. You gotta make it light for the kiddies. Do rah rah, or like rah. No, that's bad. First half good. Second half trash. No, it's not trash. Mid. Celty is queen. You need to watch this show. Celty's great. Oh, and we didn't put anything for MHA. I guess this should technically go on hold. Oh no, that's why there's so many, because I was doing all anime. Whoops. That's why there's so many. We should do the ones for on hold as well. That'd be funny. Hunter x Hunter. This show. Wait, wanna know how anticlimactic this show is? Click here to find out. Ha. Okay, that joke doesn't work that well. Click here to find out how. I don't know if that joke works. Kill a Kill. Okay, I'll tell you guys a secret. I never finished Kill a Kill. It's my big secret. I guess it is on hold, but I never actually finished the show. I'm only 5 episodes. I'll watch it one day. Technically, it shouldn't even be on the list, but I was like, I can't not have Kill a Kill on the list. I'll finish this one day. This will be the finale to the challenge. Kill a Kill will be the finale to the challenge. There you go. Magi. Aladdin. What anime? My Hero Academia. I will never watch 100 plus episodes of a show in a row ever again. Not in a row. I'll take breaks, but like, you know, this was like. Psyche, but for poor. No, not poor people. That's rude. Psyche, but for anime noobs. I use the word noobs. The Devil's a part-timer. Not as funny as Broske makes it out to be, but the concept is unique, at least. Okay, Kill Kill feels a bit too overrated. I haven't finished it, so I can't really judge. That's the only one that I'm not even like halfway done with the show. I dropped it. I don't know. I saw it. I was like, maybe a different time. Maybe a different time. Miranda might be. No, I know. How the frick did Miranda find the show? I want to know how Miranda found the show. This is such an obscure show. It is so weird that Miranda, like, pretty much no one else on the internet has seen this show. It is so weird. How did Miranda find this? Air. Clanad if it got shredded by a lawnmower. It's accurate. Blue Exorcist. Broske. Broske didn't even wreck this, but it was just in the Broske era that I have to throw a stray at him. Golden Time. Wow, this is better than Erased. Watches finale. Okay, maybe not. K-On! Can I have a crumb of conflict, please? God. Lucky Star. So do you wanna know what goes in a Reuben sandwich? Mononoke. Okay, the joke here is that I did a play. Only like Noel know the joke, but like I did a play that was like kind of like similar to this. None of you will understand that. Spice and Wolf. Okay. Yeah, that's all. Okay, yeah, there we go. There we go. We put the funny comments. Let me know what you guys think the funniest is. Some of these are okay. You know, I'll make some of them more funny. Some of them aren't that funny. Okay, fine. Okay. It's a reference because we do the anime guessing game, and like Violet Evergarden is always like kind of like whenever there's just a garden, it's like or like a field, it's like oh Violet Evergarden. Like this always gets like guessed to be. I don't know why. I guess it looks kind of generic. I don't know. It's funny. What the fuck? I don't know. I'm trying to make it funny. Okay, some of these just aren't funny. Okay, there we go. That's enough. Konosuba is accurate. No, there's so many references. Oh, I never put the original Konosuba. Wait, this is the spin-off. This is the spin-off. I never. Wait, did I? Okay, wait. Hold up. I need to add some. There's some shows missing. There's only Is Pokemon even here? Pokemon's not even here. What? Where did I put Pokemon? Is it in drop? Yeah, Pokemon down. Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Some shows are missing. What? All the ones I added today are here. The yeah, I guess Konosuba is on hold. Yeah, what? I forgot it had the season 3. Dang. That's why the original Konosuba's not here. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Look, okay, I have to roast all these shows again. I have to roast Epo. I have to roast Epo more. I didn't roast Epo enough. Okay, there we go. I love Taiga, but her and Ryuji's relationship are more akin to family than a romance. Oh my god, of course, that's the only reason. You know, I think looking back, Toradora, there's some shows. You know, now that we're here, now that we're done with the what I watched, I think we'll just talk about it. There's some shows that are like that I watched early on that I think now with what I know, they wouldn't be that high. Toradora is one of them. I think Toradora at the time, that was my first romance anime. I didn't know what to expect. I'm mostly asexual, so I didn't know what to expect. And you know, obviously, I don't really watch these shows for the romance, unlike you know people like Genesis and Leo, where they really like shows for the relationships going on with the characters. I don't. That's not my priority. So I saw it, and it was like, you know, the school stuff. They're friendly. They got into fights. The girl was really antagonistic, and that was kind of funny. I don't know. I kind of like the little group that they had, the 5 characters. I think looking back, that one would probably be lower if I rewatch. Even like maybe not even rewatch. Maybe even just think about it a little more. I don't want to lower too many things just because it's like, you know, that was the past. But like, yeah. We're quickly gonna just look at all the stuff that would like be lowered now with what I know now. Actually, yeah, let's do that now. 6 accurate, 7 accurate, 7. I think this is like a 6.5, but I rounded it up to 7. Yeah, this is a little too high. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, that's fine. I just rank this. That's a bit high. 6 is a bit high for that show. Mashley does not deserve a 6. Yeah. One Punch Man. Psychopaths. I want to rewatch this show. Psychopaths is one of those shows. Okay, honestly, any show that is like 9 or higher on my list, I want to rewatch. I don't want to because I'd rather watch new stuff. But like, if I ever have like a rewatch era, then this will like Psychopaths will be one of the first ones. I want to give ReZero another chance. I should see season 2. Keep on clicking. Currently watching. I should. 11 Eyes. Deserved. Okay, we're not gonna talk about the ones I just ranked. Ace Attorney deserved. Akame Kill. Oh, fucking that is too high. It gets a 1. It's a 1. Akudama Drive. That's a bit high. That's good. As Class should be high. This one like I would rank this higher. Now that I know what I know, this one deserves to be higher. Tekken Titan, that's fine. That's August 10. Bacano 8. Beastars. Beastars Season 3 came out recently. I want to give it a try. I want to watch it. Berserk 10 is a little generous, but I think that's fair. Buddy Daddies deserves it. Cash and Sins deserves it. I don't know. The second half of Cash and Sins, I don't know. But like, I'll still give it a 10 because it's such good world building. But like, man, Chainsaw Man deserves that. Clannad. That's fair. I think 7's fair. Classroom of the Elite is fair. Bebop's fair. This is a bit generous. This is a bit generous. What did I actually updated my ranking. I lowered this a bit. Did I rank it a 7 or an 8 in my new ranking? The Daily Live. I give it an 8. Okay, yeah, 8's fair. I think 8's fair. It's not a 9. It's an 8. Danganronpa. That's fair. That's fair. Death Note. Fine. Fine. Death Parade. This is fair, but people say that this is like the best show ever. It's not the best show ever. It's an 8. It's fine. It's okay. It's good. It's not the best show ever. It's good. It's good. 5 is so generous. 5 is so fucking generous for me. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. This is not a 5. I update my Google Doc more than I update my anime list. I should. Like, off camera, I'll do updating. This is not a 5. This is like a 4 at best. Golden Time's a 5. 10. This one might age poor. I'm gonna watch a few videos on this one. This one's rough, I'll tell you that. Fair. Scary oldie. I didn't even write this. I wrote this like a few months ago. This is not... Because, like, earlier today, myself and a few others watched the Ice Cream episode. This is not even, like, from today. That's so funny. Fair. Mob Psycho should be higher, honestly. Like, this was one of the first ones. I think at the time I didn't like it that much, but now it's like, I might like this a bit better. Fair. 6 is kind of generous. This one should be higher on. God, there's so much I want to rewatch that I just saw like too early in my anime watch career that I would love to rewatch now that I'm wiser. Fair. Skate is another one that I'm like, I want to give that another chance. Fair. 4 might be really 3. This one's one of the ones that would be probably lower, but I need to think about it more. Fair. Okay, watching 100 anime and wanting to rewatch half of them. I don't want to rewatch half of them. I just want to rewatch like 10 of them. Here, I will name all the ones I want to rewatch. Okay, like I desperately want. There's a difference between like desperately rewatch and just like casually rewatch. Cowboy Bebop's one of them. Death Note's another one of them. Haruhi's another one of them, but like in a release order instead of chronological order. I wouldn't even honestly. Psyche's one that it's like it probably would be if I watched it now. It probably wouldn't be a 10. I don't. If I like watched it now that I've been watching anime for like a year and a half, it would not be a 10. Like it would probably be a 9 or an 8, and I don't want to rewatch it because of that. I'm like so scared that I won't like it as much anymore. Great Pretender's another one. 4. Spy Family. Spy Family and Delicious in Dungeon. I wouldn't like want to rewatch them, but they're just so good. It's like same with Buddy Daddies as well, actually. Oh yeah, I want to rewatch that one. Steins Gate's another. Wink. Mob Psycho 7. Skate 8. Odd Taxi 9. I think that's it. Maybe Ass Class, yeah, Ass Class, because that was like literally the first one. 10. Okay, so yeah, 10 shows that I would want to rewatch now that I'm wiser. Yeah, just 10 shows. One of the only JPEG jokes I extremely disagree with is this ReZero take on Subaru. He needs more episodes. I'll give you that. Where is it? Where is it? It's not here. Oh, it's on hold. That's why. It's funny. It's kind of funny. go shower. I should. Okay, thanks for watching. If you're new here, go watch Discord. Join our Discord. They say watch Discord. Join our Discord and talk to us. We'll have lots of fun. I will take a little break from anime, and by little break, I mean like literally like a day or two. I just finished watching Love Live Season 2. We will be back with maybe Your Lie in April. I'll decide which one I want to watch first. Probably another, because I heard that one's really fucking bad. We can have a watch party on the weekend. Yeah, if you want to join another watch party, then join the Discord. That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Yeah, so that's all for now. Goodbye, everybody. Bye-bye. Take care. You guys suck.